54 for 74 rating.
Greg Jennings is here.
Who's that?
We'll start with Brew. Brew must win?
Yes, absolutely a must-win. Absolutely. They're already 0-2 in the division.
Yeah.
Right? They're 0-3 in the NFC.
Yeah.
This division is going to be tight. Like, there's going to be teams probably with the same record that the tiebreakers will determine who gets into the playoffs.
That's right.
So, yeah, they got – and not to mention the next game, Kansas City.
Yeah.
So, if you lose this, you could be 2-5 like that. All right? So, yeah, it's an absolute must-win for the Niners. And even the manner in which they lost the 2 games in the division, blowing fourth quarter leads.
Yeah.
Like, again, like that, they could be 4-1.
Yep.
They've blown it, so they got to go out there and get it done. Must win.
Yeah, you just said it. All the reasons. Number one for me is who they play next. And then who they follow up with a team that they've been beaten up on with the Cowboys. But, like, you think about how they've not performed late in games in that second halves. They've had 10 and 13-point leads in second halves of these games, and they found ways to lose them. And so you're playing a division opponent, you said all those things. You can't lose this game and then have the next 2 before your bye.
Who on the set had the guts before the year to say the Niners were going to miss the playoffs? Raise your hand.
All right, look,
Greg,
let's not get ahead of ourselves.
I'm just.
Oh, he's preening right now.
No,
we'll see in a few
my
weeks.
hand's not up. I
He's
didn't
preening right
have the
now.
guts.
He just
I
raised his
just
hand.
Drew,
upset.
I asked.
See, now he can do no wrong.
Brew,
Get a few upsets right.
Brew.
I'm just saying.
Nobody was even mad at you. I was just trying to give Greg Jennings some credit. So the 0-3 in the conference and 0-2 in the division is a key point. The fact that you're playing the Chiefs, who have Mahomes has never lost to the Niners, and it's not just the Super Bowl, it's also a couple regular season meetings. 2 of his most spectacular statistical games were against this team. Here's a question I have for the Niners, because it's a clean sweep on yes, it's a must-win for them. Has Kyle Shanahan already reached out to Robert Saleh? Not just to give him, sorry that you lost your job, but also, hey man, you want to come in and be a defensive consultant? We've had a lot of turnover at defensive. One of the things the Niners have suffered from is a Patriots-esque brain drain, which is you are good for so long, you lose coordinators left and right. Like the Chiefs are in a lucky spot in that their D coordinator failed as a head coach so kind of spectacularly, nobody tries to hire him, so they don't have to worry about that. But they lost Saleh, they lost D'Amico, they fire Wilkes.
Did you hear that other story, the other report that Shanahan called Joe Douglas about Ulbrich? And that's
that was in the offseason, right?
Yeah, and that's what made him think like, oh, if you want this guy. But now I'm adding a little bit to it.
That he was doing it because he wanted his buddy to get fired so he could bring his buddy back. That's so
well,
whatever it is.
Baltimore they're bringing in Peace. To help
Dean Peace. So yeah, and by the way, the other thing is here's the other quick one. Sorry, I know it's supposed to be faster. We can joke whatever it is. Those Purdy numbers are what they are.
Yes, they are.
And if they lose this week to Mike McDonald, and by the way, the last time Brock Purdy played a Mike McDonald defense, Brew had to take him off the MVP list. That was the 4-turnover game against Baltimore. Gave him hell.
Pick it up.
That could be a problem.
He could find himself on the Bud list.
Oh, not everybody's Daniel Jones. Lighting up the Seahawks, so maybe. Meanwhile, Bills at Jets Monday night. Josh Allen, he went from MVP to having back-to-back duds. Last game, he completed 9 of 30 passes in one of the least efficient games in NFL history. Here's a stat that Josh cooked up. Lost 3 straight after starting 3-0. Only 6 teams made the playoffs, and 16 missed the playoffs. So we'll start with you this time. Must win?
Okay, before I answer, don't you have some bookkeeping to do?
Oh, I'm sorry. Greg, 1-0.
Okay, Greg, you got a point for the
won that one.
Yeah.
How? All he did was regurgitate what I said.
Bro.
I'm just saying. He literally said, you said it. You said it. You said it. I'm just saying.
You don't got
I'm just saying.
I
need a W.
When did this rivalry start? All right, to answer your question, no, it is not a must-win for Buffalo. It's a love to win, need to win, but not even close to a must-win because until we find out if Tua is coming back, and I'm now just going to kind of feel a little morally conflicted about talking about that because we all have concerns about Tua. But Tua wants to play football again, and so God bless him. I wish him healthy. I'm going to talk about him like he's going to be a healthy football player when he comes back. But until we find out when that is, there might not be another viable team in this division. Like, if Tua's out substantially, 8 and 9 could win this division.
But if
so at 3 and 2,
if the Jets beat them,
no, because I just don't
they're
think
not more viable than Buffalo.
No, I don't. I absolutely do not, because I just don't believe in the Jets holistically at all, and I don't think the snap firing of the coach is all of a sudden going to fix things there. So no, it's not a must-win. But if they do win, to me, this division is like, okay, unless Tua comes back quicker than we thought, is like wrapped by Halloween.
Yeah, I think this is a must-win. Okay. When you are facing a team that, number one, you didn't perform well week 1 when you opened the season here last season. Your quarterback played poorly against this defense because offensively that's not how they beat you, but the defense beat you. And then now with what's unfolded, they're fired the head coach. They're in disarray. We don't know who's going to be calling plays. Like, you can't allow this Jet team to feel like they have life and they're not in the little brother situation that you've placed them in for the last few years. So you got to win this game. And to remember, you've lost 2 in a row. Right. And so you can't lose 3 in a row and then feel good about where you're headed, the trajectory of your franchise and your team, without receivers that we know you don't have and all the help that you're lacking this year.
Greg's right, but I'm going to one-up it.
Okay.
The rare double must-win.
He's so
double must-win. It's a double must-win, and you know I'm right. The Jets need a W. You talk about a team that's floundering, literally. And usually, it doesn't always happen, but usually you get a boost from that. Even if you don't necessarily think the dude should have been fired, you get a bounce from the Jeff Saturday won his first game last year with Indianapolis and then lost 7 straight. So you get that boost.
Won as soon as they put Dalton in. You know what I mean? Like a little boost of something.
If the Jets lose, all of that, maybe you're thinking, okay, look, we're gonna do something different. And then you lose, maybe Rodgers plays poorly again. Now you're really like, okay, we're done.
Should announce,
and the same thing for the Bills.
Trading Devontae to the winner. And put some extra stakes on the game.
The Devontae Adams Bowl.
The winner of the game gets
Both
Devontae Adams. Was that enough?
It was like clever at the end.
It's not the double.
Somebody came in and grabbed it. He's like the.
He didn't even say it was a must-win.
I know, it's kind of outside the box.
I could see that.
I smell foul play.
I smell foul.
Revenge game on Fox. Lions at Cowboys. Last year, the Lions had the game won, but got their lines crossed with the officials on the 2-point conversion. Then Dan Campbell kept going for it. Dallas escaped with a win. Rematch of a game that saw over 800 yards of offense.
Still showing spot shadow.
Well, it's true. You talk to him. All right, Brew, you're in a hole here. Is this a must-win for the Cowboys and you, for that matter?
I'm gonna surprise y'all. No.
Oh.
Not a must-win.
Interesting.
First of all, they're banged up. All right, they are banged up. It doesn't look like any of their guys are going to be back, from last week. And then Detroit is legit, obviously. So there's no shame when you're injured like the Cowboys are and losing to Detroit. They've righted themselves to some degree, at least, got level again.
2 in a row.
Yeah, by winning the last 2. So they lose this one, they'll be fine because they won the last 2. So.
Will they?
Yeah.
Will they?
And that division is. Nobody's running away with it. We don't know if Washington's for real yet.
Yeah, we don't know who the Dallas Cowboys are. This is a must-win for the Dallas Cowboys. You're playing one of the better teams in the conference in Detroit. They came there. They should have won that game last year. They didn't. The Cowboys got away with one. So you know they're going to be coming in with a little edge, a little chip on their shoulder. And then you got to think about, who are you? You just beat the Pittsburgh Steelers by the hair of your chinny chin. I don't care who they're missing. The Dallas Cowboys, if nothing else, they're a really good regular season team and an even better home team. They've lost 2 games already at home. What are they hanging their hat on? This is a must-win for the Cowboys.
Let Nick go.
Well, I just like you were ready to call the round. Listen, I said before when we did Cowboys-Steelers, was it a must-win? I said, no, they have to win one of their next 2. between Pittsburgh and Detroit. They got that one. They also, Detroit is coming, Cowboys are extra banged up, and Detroit's coming off a bye. And so this was a game that the opening season line was Cowboys by 2. It's Lions by 3 now, and both quarterbacks are still, you know what I mean? Like, it's usually a line will only move like that because of a quarterback injury. So a lot of factors favor the Lions here. If the Cowboys do win, Brew has to rescind his whole the Cowboys are common and just whatever.
I mean, home games they're going to lose.
Yeah. I mean,
what, 0-2 at home?
Yeah. If I count the Packers, they're 1-3.
And so, no, they've won one home game, right? They've won all their games on the road.
I think so.
Yeah.
They haven't won at home.
I know they've lost twice at
over
home.
years.
Okay, so they're 3-0 on the road and 0-2 at home. That's interesting.
Okay, so that was Greg again.
Thank you.
Unfortunately, it's 2-1 to nothing. This is worth 3, however.
This is worth 3?
Yeah.
You trying to give me life?
And it's the Ravens. Ravens' pass defense hasn't been good, and Jaden Daniels has. Lamar has won 3 in a row. This is a battle between 2 MVP candidates. Nick, we'll start with you. Is this a must-win for Brew's Ravens?
So it's absolutely not a must-win, but there's one side of the ball that has to show growth. Like, oddly, if the Ravens lose this game because Lamar plays terribly and they lose 13-10,
actually,
I think that's fine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I actually think that's fine. But if they play the game they played against Cincinnati, but lose, you know what I mean? It's 41-38. Then I think it is a large enough sample of the season to sound the alarm bells about the Ravens' defense, most notably their pass defense. So I don't think they have to win. I think that the defense can't be the reason they lose.
Yep.
And so if they lose to the Commanders, it's fine. If they lose a shootout to the Commanders, it's a big problem.
Okay.
This is another must-win.
Wow, everybody's on must-win.
Yeah, it's a must-win. When you have a team like the Chiefs that is continuing to win, despite what they have.
One seed's over.
Like, is it?
It's yeah.
It's still within reach. But if you start dropping games like this week, then no, it will no longer be in reach, and that's why this is a must-win. It's not that I don't believe that their defense can step up to the plate. But like you mentioned, if we see what they experienced last week against the Bengals, which clearly Jaden Daniels can put up points, that's the bigger problem. But this is a must-win.
I think Nick is forgetting the spirit of the segment.
Wow.
Yeah, exactly. Taking it literally. Yeah.
Oh, look, he's playing into wilds.
No, it's a must-win. It is a must. Yeah, it is a must-win though. Because here's the thing: even though the Ravens have won 3 straight, hear me out, Wiles. Yeah. They won 3 straight. All right, only 2 of them, and I think Lamar feels this way. You can really only feel great about 2 of them. I mean, about one of them, right? Even though you want the win, so we righted ourselves. We're good, 3-2. But yeah, I mean, the Cowboys you let back in the game, and then the Cincinnati you were downright fortunate.
Yep.
All right, they missed that field goal. That was it. So they need a great performance to feel better about themselves. And Nick's right about the defense. Like you brought in Dean Pease now, so let's see if he can help Zach Orr. If the defense plays well, they win. They're on their way. So yeah, must win.
Okay, Brew takes it.
Hey, Brew. That was must-win right there.
That's a must-win. You eked it out.
Right,
it wasn't super impressive.
Yeah, I was gonna say you don't.
Because you could have put your purple Jordans on and you're like, oh yeah, this will be me.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.